So, people, I have a lot of updates on the whole Jay-Z sitch. Definitely have updates on the Jay-Z sitch. Yeah. And I will share them here in just a few, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So the update, Jay-Z may be off the hook at least. I mean, it's hard to say, but the victim who came out accusing Jay-Z and Diddy of SA allegedly when she was 13 years old now is having discrepancies and inconsistencies show up basically in her story because this victim decided to go on CNN and do an interview, and basically what they and then okay, so here's the thing. They interviewed her, they interviewed the victim, and then the following day they interviewed her father. Okay, a few key things, and I've done research on this, listen to other people's videos on it, their perspectives and shit like that. But a few things. First off, this girl she would have been 13. She was 13 at the time that this happened, supposedly, okay? So she was in school, as far as we know, that day. She was from Rochester, New York, okay? And this SA supposedly happened in New York City, which is about 5 hours away from Rochester, New York. So her story is that she went to New York City from Rochester, New York with her 16-year-old friend that drove them there, supposedly. Then she was walking around. I can't even remember where the fuck she said she was walking around at. And supposedly Diddy's limo driver was like, oh yeah, you're just what Diddy's looking for. And basically invited her to this party. So one of the things that she says is that when she goes to the party, she said that she was talking to, I think it was either Benji or Joel Madden. And now it has been confirmed from, I think, Benji Madden's like agent or whatever you call that person, manager, whoever manages him basically has come out and said that they were not at that party. They were not at Diddy's party. They were actually in a completely different area of the country on tour at that point in time. So, okay, there's one hole in her story. The other hole is, how the fuck did you get from Rochester, New York to New York City? Give me a break. Who's gonna drive a 16 and a 13-year-old 5 hours? Maybe. But okay, so how did you get out of school? Did you just randomly run out of the school in between classes? Maybe, I guess, at 13, sure. All of it just, there are big question marks around it. Then it's like, okay, so you and this 16-year-old drive to New York City, whatever. Benji or Joel Madden or whoever, whichever brother you saw there was not there, so that's false. Another huge thing that's an issue is her father came out in the interview the next day and said that he does not remember driving to pick this little girl up at any point in time. And he was like, I'm pretty sure I would remember that, which is like, yeah, of course. It's a 5-hour drive. Are you kidding me? And here's my thing. There's so many holes in the story. So first off, he says he doesn't remember. So it's like, okay, big red flag. Also, your parents would have to be kind of negligent, or it would point to negligence if you're somebody that's skipping school, somebody that's running away, blah, 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 blah. So if you have negligent parents that would allow you to even get to the point where you would drive 5 hours away to New York City, I'm talking about the 13-year-old victim that has come out, accusing Jay-Z and Diddy, who now there are a bunch of holes and discrepancies in her story. And her father doesn't remember that, okay? So now she says, oh, well, he wasn't in a good headspace at the time. It's like, dude, I don't know, like, unless this guy was just, even if he was like obliterated out of his mind on alcohol or something like that, it's like clearly not if he was able to pick you up. Because she said that her father picked her up after she was SA'd at the party. She went to a gas station and he picked her up. It's like, okay, so a 13-year-old sat at a gas station for hours, supposedly, which she left out of her story. If that even was the case, it doesn't make sense. Then, like I said, if a kid is being that neglected to where they're running away, and I'm sorry, you'd have to have something going on. No kid is just going to run away from home for the fuck of it. Okay, so supposedly if this happened, if your parents that negligent, there's no way in hell they're going to drive 5 hours to pick you up in Rochester. Unless the police are involved, a parent like that is not going to drive 5 hours to pick you up at a gas station in New York City. Because the fact that you supposedly went there to begin with points to the type of parenting you're surrounded by. So that makes absolutely no fucking sense, just from like that standpoint of this, a psychological standpoint, I suppose. Doesn't even make sense. There's just too many things that don't add up to me. Like my whole thing, and I'm not one to doubt victims, you guys, but there are people that lie about these things. People with personality disorders sometimes will lie about these kind of things. They will. But I don't know, her whole story sounds weird because what we know of Diddy is that he's an extremely violent man, okay, right? So how is it that somehow Jay-Z supposedly SA'd this girl, and then when it came around to be Diddy's time to do that, she punched him in the neck and he stared at her? This is her story of it. And he stared at her and then she was somehow able to run out of the room? That was her story. That she was able to punch P. Diddy in the neck, a 13-year-old. Okay, so that's probably not very painful. This is a violent man. What we know about him would tell me that any type of anybody trying to defend themselves against him, especially a 13-year-old girl, would not end well. He would not have let her get out of the room. I mean, it's just bullshit. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. The man is violent. He either would have fucking physically harmed her back when she punched him. It's not like she ran out of there so fast he couldn't catch her. It's like, give me a fucking break. That doesn't make any sense. He's a violent man. He wouldn't even have allowed that to happen. He would have pinned her down. I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but it's true. It's just bullshit. Oh, somehow she punched and then got out of there, and did he just let her run out of there? It's like, and then you want to know something else that doesn't make sense? When you're drugged, when these people have been drugged, all of the legit victims, there's a recurring pattern of the drug being so powerful that they are not able to get away. So how does that make sense that a 13-year-old is drugged and somehow she can fight P. Diddy off of all people and run away? Again, makes no sense, because if she was drugged, she would not have, it just doesn't make sense. She wouldn't have been able to do that to that degree. Because if you listen to any of the other victims' testimony or, their statements, all of them say the same thing, which is that if they woke up during the attack, which some of them did, quite a few of them did, they tried to fight off Diddy, but because the drug that he gave them was so powerful, they could not fight. They could not physically move. Imagine, you guys know like sleep paralysis, when your body gets stuck in that like weird place between like waking up or like being asleep and waking up. That's what the drug does. So it's like you know that you're in a dream or awake, but you can't fucking move physically. So all of it doesn't make sense. If you like really look at it deeper, it's like, oh, somehow you ran out of there. A 13-year-old, even with a little bit of that drug, would have been passed the fuck out. I don't give a fuck how big the 13-year-old is. So how the hell could she have supposedly ran out of there? None of it adds up. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And if her dad is even saying, yeah, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember driving 5 hours from Rochester, New York to pick her up from some gas station. It's like, and then she came back and she was like, no, he did. He just, he has memory issues. And like, doesn't that sound like gaslighting, you guys? He has memory issues. And yeah, like, it's been a huge problem between him and I. That's literally what this person said. And I'm sorry, I'm not mocking this supposed victim. I'm just keeping it real that there's way too many discrepancies. And one key one is that the drug part of it that I talked about, that there's a pattern. If you notice that those who have been drugged, it has a certain effect, and those are the victims that are telling the truth. The ones who talk about and can describe like the impact of the drug and how she clearly, it doesn't make sense. You were drugged, but you could run out of there and punch Diddy in the neck. Come on. None of the other victims who were making these statements were grown adults at the time of the incident, and they couldn't even fight back under the influence of whatever fucking date rape drug that Diddy gave them. So it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And I don't know. It's just not adding up. I don't believe her, you guys. I'm gonna tell you, I don't think I believe this gal. There's something off about it. The whole thing she made up about seeing Benji Madden. That's sketchy. And then she came back and she's like, well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know there's some holes in my story. And it's like, here's the thing, guys. Yes, people who have been victims of SA, sometimes it's hard to remember, specific details of those types of traumas and stuff like that. But we're talking very huge, obvious bits of information that nobody's gonna forget, like her dad driving 5 hours, or that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, whatever, the pieces that aren't adding up. Like, you're not gonna forget who you talk to at a party with a bunch of famous people. Of course you're going to remember what famous person you talk to. Give me a break. Every time I've met a famous person in life, I remember exactly who the fuck it was. There's no question in my mind. Absolutely none. I met Kendrick Lamar. His hands are smaller than mine. That shit was weird. It was very weird. He was short. He's very small. Very just regular guy. Rude. Very rude. I met that actor from the show Suits when I was 15. I accidentally stepped on his foot when I sat down next to him, and I was like, oops, my bad. I mean, you know what I mean, you guys? My point in telling you this is not to brag about meeting celebrities. For those of you with whatever. with any intelligence, you'd understand what I was just doing. You remember shit like that. I understand it's like, oh, well, that wasn't a traumatic thing. And it's like, yeah, but if she was drugged, she would still remember that part. So it's not really making sense to me. I don't care about celebrities. I was just trying to make a point, you know, like, so yeah, that's kind of like the update on that, is that there's a lot of discrepancies in her story. And so this is really not good because if she is making this up, which I think she may be, it's going to really impact the credibility of the true victims of Diddy. Because like I described to you, there are some people, of course, some of those victims are true victims. It's the ones whose stories sounded very similar. Like, oh yeah, I was drugged and then soon after I started feeling blah, blah, blah. Those people, the ones who can give exact details and stuff like that, they're telling the truth. This chick who's, oh, well, no, it wasn't. And no, I'm sorry. You don't forget something like that. You just don't. Unless you were drugged, but like I said, if she was, why didn't she describe that part? Does she describe that part? I guess I have to go back and look, but I think maybe she had said that she had gone to lay down in a room or something like that. But again, if you were really drugged, how did you have the power to punch Diddy in the neck at that point? You know what I mean? That's the part. That's the part where she fucked up in her lie, I guess. Potential lie. But yeah, so that's kind of crazy. And like I said, could impact a lot. Oh, here's a big newsworthy thing. I forgot I didn't tell y'all this. Okay. So Jay-Z, well, let me start it off this way. This is more exciting. Blue Ivy Carter, she has a half brother. She has a new sib. And that new sib's name is Rymere. I don't know what his last name is. It's some weird, Shadowsworth or something. It's some long ass last name. Anyway, Jay-Z has a love child who is now coming out. Basically, his mother died. Jay-Z's child, Rymere. Rymere's mother, the mother that Jay-Z had sex with to make the child, died in 2019. Okay, she wrote a letter for Rymere to give to the court to basically come out and expose Jay-Z and expose the fucked up treatment. He's suing Jay-Z, you guys. Jay-Z's love child, bastard son, Rymere, is suing Jay-Z. And he's also trying to force a paternity test to prove that he is Jay-Z's son. And he does look like Jay-Z's son. He looks like him. I saw a picture of him. He definitely looks like he could be his son for sure. And so there's that, because here's the thing about that. Here's another twist in that. Guess how old Jay-Z was, and guess how old the mother, or Rymere's mother, was at the time. She was 16. He was 22. Yeah. So, A, that's illegal. B, that's disgusting. And C, Jay-Z might be screwed still. And D, that's really disgusting. And E, I don't care if the chick's almost 17, it's still illegal. I don't know if, people, no. You're 22? Why are you guys, here's my thing. You have to ask yourself this. Why in God's name would a 22-year-old want to or be taking interest in a 16-year-old? Because that is how old Jay-Z was when he conceived this love child with this woman. Well, actually, she wasn't a woman. She was a teenager. She was 16. She was 16. He was 22. That's creepy. He's a sexual predator for that. If you're 22 interested in 16-year-olds, then you need some help, because you got to ask yourself, where's your mind at that point? Why are you wanting to be around a 16-year-old at that point? That's weird. It's creepy, it's weird, and you need some help if that's what you think is normal. So that is the next thing that's come out, is that Jay-Z, he's still a creep. He's still a creep because she was 16 and he was 22. And so that's not legal. And if you get found out for it or someone presses charges on you for it, you're fucked. Yeah. So Jay-Z's love child, Rhaenyra, is suing him. So that's the other latest with Jay-Z. So on one hand, he might not have to worry about this supposed fake victim, but on the other hand, he has another problem on his hands. An illegitimate love child suing him. That's hilarious. Blue Ivy as a bro. The other thing I think was, I wanted to talk about too, which I didn't really think about, is I've seen some news stories on the Mufasa Lion King premiere and Beyonce and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy all going to that, and people basically talking shit about how Blue Ivy is dressed and saying that, and she wore a really beautiful dress. She wore a couple really beautiful dresses, but they make a very good point, and I agree with this. They're talking about how it's over-sexualized, or they over-sexualized her with the outfits, and it's because she's 12 years old, and it's really, if you have any sort of a chest at 12 years old, your parents should be, making sure that you have appropriate clothing to conceal, because you're a child, right? A child. So even as a preteen, that's just weird. So, I mean, if you go see her dress, really pretty dress, but it is a bit mature for her age. It really is. She looks like, that would be appropriate. Maybe at even at 14, that might be over-sexualized. But so probably 14 and above, 15 maybe. But it's yeah, I get what they're saying with that, because I don't know. It's just kind of weird at 12. Little bit odd. I mean, I don't know. I knew people that, at 12, I'm not going to get into that. There were people like that, but you guys, I'm talking about Jay-Z's illegitimate love child, his bastard child. Sorry, I don't know what else to call him. His child he had out of wedlock. Not out of wedlock. What am I talking about? He had a kid, okay? When he was 22, he had sex with a 16-year-old, which is gross and weird and illegal, and wrong. And he got her pregnant. And if you Google it right now, you can find out about it. But Rymir Shadowsworth or something like that. His mother passed away in 2019. She left a letter for him to give to the court and for proof, and she signed off on it, basically sharing what she knows about Jay-Z and basically confirming that it is his child. And he's suing Jay-Z and trying to force a paternity test. Trying to like demand or force a paternity test to prove it, that he is his son. And it's interesting because it's like his mom must have done that a long time ago just in case anything happened to her. So that's interesting. But yeah, Jay-Z has a son out there. And he could potentially be in some big trouble. He's definitely he's getting sued by his son. And I don't know exactly what it's. All right. This is what I found on it, and I'm just gonna read it, okay? This is kind of crazy. So, the latest case, which was filed on November 25th, lists. Okay, so his last name is Satterthwaite. Rymir Satterthwaite is his illegitimate son. Okay. The lawsuit claims that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and his legal team acted fraudulently during previous attempts to get him to take a paternity test. Moreover, the filing argues that from 2000 my bad. That from 2012 to 2023, their rights were violated through fraudulent court actions, which included sealed records, wrongful sanctions, my bad, and obstruction of their legal proceedings. The new lawsuit God damn it, guys. The new lawsuit also claimed that the court system conspired to deny the plaintiffs access to essential legal records and blocked their appeals. Wow. The plaintiffs also held multiple judges accountable who claimed that they committed fraud by misrepresenting property ownership and allowing false claims by the rapper at the time. Okay, so yeah, so Jay-Z's illegitimate son's mother. So Jay-Z's illegitimate son's name is Rymir. Rymir's mother died in 2019. I said this. Back in 1992, when she was 16 and he was 22, is when they had a relationship. In 2010, she requested that a Pennsylvania court make both men, Jay-Z and her ex-boyfriend, opt for a paternity test in order to determine the real father of her son, who was born in 1993. Her son was born in the summer of 1993, so her son is around my age. However, the case was dismissed outright because Satterthwaite was over 18 years old at the time of the pretrial, and according to Pennsylvania state law, paternity must be established before a child reaches the age of adulthood. Damn, really? So you're just like screwed after that, or what? The record executive is already facing a civil lawsuit of, yeah, okay, we already know that. Okay, people, this is just, thought there was more to this. So yeah, those are all of the things that Jay-Z's illegitimate son is suing him for. It seems kind of messy and sloppy. But I think a forced paternity test is a part of the suing. You know, it's a part of the lawsuit or whatever. So, I don't know. We will see what happens. I just can't believe... Can I believe that Jay-Z has an illegitimate son? I don't know. I don't really care. But I think it's kind of crazy that he has an illegitimate son. Also, guys, in other news, it is the full moon in Gemini tonight. Well, rather, the full moon in Gemini peaks around 4:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. You know, the full moon energy has been rather chill for me, which is interesting because it's in Gemini, which Geminis are very curious, you know? And curious is not really a chill energy. But like, I don't know. Like, I've definitely. So the full moon in Gemini is all about. Gemini. Gemini is all about duality, like seeing a multitude of perspectives or side of things, but also the full moon is about like releasing old communication patterns or ways of thinking, thought patterns that are holding you back. So, like, releasing, unhealthy thought processes that are, like I said, holding you back from your fullest potential. So, mine are mostly just like OCD type stuff, which I was much more aware of around this time and realized like the uselessness of it, the waste of time and energy of it, the lack of clarity that I got from it. I'm like, okay, this is pointless. So I basically came to the conclusion during this full moon in Gemini that the best approach is to quiet your mind, in those times where you feel that obsessing coming on, or that, those worries or those irrational fears or whatever. Just quieting your mind. I gotta be careful because I got my nails done, so I don't want to fuck them up. So yeah, the full moon in Gemini. It's really been mild for me. Like I said, it's really been chill for me. The full moon. I am gonna do a full moon reading after this for the collective, and I'll probably do one for Cancer. I guess we'll just see what happens, or maybe I'll just do another vibe and chill, but I'm still gonna chill now, but hi Pearly. You guys, Pearl's here, and she is just so freaking cute. I bought her some wet food. I really just did everything I could to, she just loves it. She loves it. Pearl loves it. But, what else for the full moon in Gemini? I don't know. There's not really much else. Like, it's interesting because like I said, it's been pretty tame. Pretty tame full moon energy for me. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy. So Jay-Z is not out of, like I said, I knew it. So like I said before, if there's not other victims out there, which technically his illegitimate son's mother would have, like she is a victim because she was 16 and he was 22. So that is illegal and sexual predatory. So yeah. Um, so like I said before, that is why Jay-Z was putting on that show and getting all pissed and blah 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 and having that super long statement because like I had said before, there's more victims out there. Jay-Z has more victims out there. But it's like, where's the rest of them? I gotta air it out in here though. Shoot. I cannot ruin my nails, so I'm not about to smoke it to that degree. Like down to the bottom, you know. Like I said, I'm gonna go live and do a collective reading in a few here. And until then, I'm just chilling. Airing this place out from all the smoke. Hey peeps, what's going on? You guys, I already talked about Jay-Z. I already talked about the updates. Talked about his illegitimate son. And how he's getting sued by his illegitimate son. So, feel free to rewind. Because that shit is crazy. Blue Ivy has a brother. Woo! A half brother. Even cooler. I'm just talking shit about them because they're so fake, you know? And it's like now the truth comes out. Jay-Z is actually sloppy as fuck. Jay-Z is sloppy, people. Clearly. Who does that? Like, I'm sorry, if you... This is somebody that he got pregnant when he was 22 and she was 16. If you are that much of a loser that you are 22 and you can't find someone your age and you have to go date a 16-year-old, Oh my God. That's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. So anyway, that's when he produced this love child. Rymir. Hey. Yep. So Jay-Z, hang on a second. These lights have a timer on them. I can't figure out how to get rid of the timer. Like, to be honest, I haven't tried. I don't care enough to try to figure it out right now. Or anytime, clearly. But, just rolling a blunt here, people. Everyday stuff. Important stuff. The basics. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's a joke. So what's everybody up to tonight? What's everybody doing? I'm gonna do a collective reading after this. I know I said that, but I'm saying it again. Full moon and Gemini energy. How's everybody feeling with the full moon? How is everybody doing? What's going on? Like I said, the full moon energy has been real chill for me. I'm not sure why, because it's a full moon in Gemini. So you would think it would be a little bit more intense, but hasn't been for me. Like I said, the full moon in Gemini is about looking at, ways of thinking, thought patterns, karmic patterns of behaving rooted in thinking that have held us back, Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling too. It's just kind of like, yeah, I'm okay. It's kind of like, I don't know. Nothing really too, like, that stands out, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But also, it's about like communication patterns too, because obviously Gemini is an air sign, so it's all about communication. But, obviously the way we think, maybe I should stop saying obviously, maybe it's not obvious. The way we think impacts how we communicate. The way we perceive things impacts how we communicate. So it's also about perception. Yeah, perception and balance. So, good point. It's like, Gemini has the twins, masculine, feminine energy. That's about balance. And so it could be really deep. This could go deep. This could go into like mother wounds and father wounds, that have impacted our ways of thinking or perceiving ourselves, you know? So, and it's also about maybe looking at your masculine and feminine energy and aspects of those areas that are wounded in like areas of thinking or now how do you do that? It's like, shoot, how do I even describe? I'd say maybe start with looking at your mother and your father. If your mother and father were in your lives, if they weren't, that's something to look at too. And how has that impacted, you know, the way that you think and perceive the world and yourself and communicate with others, you know? I think it's also about being able to integrate both aspects of yourself, you know? And kind of like balancing emotion with logic, that too, and releasing anything that gets in the way of that, you know? Because Geminis are very intelligent, they're very, you know, quick-witted, you know, like quick on their feet. They're very smart. And I don't know. It's weird. I thought I'd have more to say about this full moon in Gemini because I thought it would be more intense. I didn't think I'd be like tripping out or anything. I just thought there'd be more like deeper shit, you know, but it wasn't even that deep. But I mean, I've done a lot of healing, so that may be why. I've really done a lot of work to change the ways that I think and view and perceive. Oh shit. But I think it's, yeah, being able to see both sides, you know? Both sides. Masculine and feminine. Because I think thought processes that are too rooted in one or the other can throw you off, get you in trouble. So I think it's about releasing anything like that, any patterns, thought patterns like that. Oh shit. Listen, there's certain things I do not miss about rolling blunts. And this is one of them. It's hard to get these bitches to I just put a lot in here, I think. But yeah. I think it's a lot of self-reflecting on how you think about things. Yeah. Because, you know, the thing is, guys, what I've learned over the years is that thoughts really get in the way of life sometimes. So I minimize how much I think at times, you know? It's like I just don't worry about certain things. It's a waste. And so the power of the mind, you do have the ability to control what you think about, which impacts how you feel. You don't always have control over how you feel, but you always have control about how you think about how you feel, or just what you think in general about any given moment. You're not just a slave to your mind, you know? You have power, like you have more power than you think over that. Yeah. So, the full moon in Gemini, you may find, like I said, old patterns coming up. Old patterns in thinking, communicating, that are hindering you. And the full moon is the time to let those go, to release those things. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm glad it's resonating. Oh, I know this one is about to just not smoke. It's kind of fucked, but... This is horrible. What is going on? But, you know, it's important to look at ourselves. Otherwise, we pose the threat of being a burden. I hate that word. Being a pain in the ass to ourselves and to other people if we don't work on ourselves. See, the end I was gonna smoke out of, it got fucked up. So then I got stuck with very little choice here, peeps, on what to do next. So I said, well, I'll just see what the fuck I can do. I think I just fixed it, so. But yeah, full moon in Gemini energy. What thought processes, patterns, what are some common or like regular things that you think about yourself or about the world around you that you notice tend to keep you stuck? These could be journal prompt questions you could use. What thought processes are keeping you stuck? You know, what perceptions of yourself or ways of thinking about yourself or the world are holding you back or hindering your progress? Let's see. Where is the fucking... Man, I don't know what is wrong with this. Oh, I see. There's a lot wrong with this. Okay. So, yeah. That's the main thing with the full moon. It's just really slowing down and learning about the way you think. You know, learning more about yourself and processing, like how you process things, how you think about things, how you think about yourself, how you think about the world around you, how you think about relationships, how you think about the way that people should communicate or you should communicate or are not communicating in relationships. Things like that. It's like, will this thing ever burn? So, yeah. Also, I got my nails done. Check it out. I got some clouds on my nails. Can't really see them very well, but whatever. Yep. Not much to say, you know. Wow, this was like so pitiful. I'm probably gonna have to go and get... That's crazy. Yep. Full moon in Gem. Full moon in Gemini, peeps. Full moon in Gemini. Oh no, don't tell me there's more holes in this. This is so pitiful. That's the only thing with this. There's downsides. Oh my God. Yeah, this stuff's pretty good. So what's everybody doing? Feel free to drop your zodiac sign in the chat. Feel free to say anything. Drop a like. Share the vid. Do whatever. Whatever just makes you feel the best. As long as it's not creepy or illegal. Way more. Sheesh, I can't breathe. So, I don't know. There's got to be more. I mean, there's more to life than this whole Jay-Z shit, okay? Way more going on. Like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, like what? Anything. Even sitting here in silence is better than that. Sitting here having a peaceful, quiet life. Simple. I would be very overwhelmed if I had $1 billion. I would. Because I don't need, I don't need that, I'm not a big material person. But I mean, I'd spend it. I get a couple Lambos. I definitely get one of those Wagoneer cars, one of those shits. I would get, let's see, what else? Man, the options are endless when you're a billionaire, so let me think about it. But like I said, not big on material shit. But like I said, with $1 billion, I'm trying to think what else is going on out there in the world. It's like I don't want to just update you guys on celebrity news, although I could, but nah. Let's get deeper because the full moon in Gemini, guys, and I'm definitely gonna get into that further. I mean, I already talked about it, but I'm gonna do a reading. Catch the vibes, see what's going on. And go from there, I don't know why I've been so hesitant to like do tarot readings lately, but I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out myself. It's a lot of energy, But you just gotta stay consistent and disciplined with it, even when you don't feel like it. So yeah. I feel like I'm dying here. Suffocating. So I open the door even more. Even though it's real cold out there. So, hey. What is going on? What is new? What's new, peeps? I've got to be careful with the window open. I gotta close this. Because somebody walked outside, so you just never know. You never know who's a Care Bear or a Dare Bear. You know, Darren or Karen. You know, when there's no drama in your life, there's not a lot on your mind, you know? I don't really spend time around people a whole lot. And I'm at peace a lot of the time. I'm not recommending you isolate yourself, peeps. I'm just saying. I'm very, very sensitive to energy. And I'd just rather not. Because most humans are not. Ugh. Man, to always be picking up on their energy. All the time, you know, it's like. I'm not a fan. So the full moon in Gemini peaks at 4:02, I think, a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Like Sunday morning. So we're almost at that point and my feelings still have not changed. So, I mean, it's kind of a good sign because the full moon is supposed to highlight what needs to be released, you know, what patterns you need to let go of. So if it's a full moon in Gemini and you have a lot of like out of whack thought patterns or processes that need fixing or releasing, then, you know, the full moon might be kind of overwhelming, more overwhelming, because you may be in your head. You may have found you've been in your head a lot more. That's because the full moon calls you to go inside your head and, yeah, dig deeper into those thoughts and why they're showing up. So full moons are supposed to shine a light on, bring light to, and new moon, so like full moons are all about consciousness or the conscious mind, and new moons are about the subconscious mind. So full moons, it's like what you can control. Do like looking at what you can control, and you can control what you think, you know. You can control what you think. And don't lie to yourself either. That's not what I'm saying. But if all you can think is bad things about yourself, you know, or if all you can do is obsess, I mean, that needs to be looked at. Gotta dig deeper into that. Where is that coming from? What purpose does that serve? It's a control mechanism. You know, a lot of faulty thought processes are grounded in control issues. A lot of mental health disorders are grounded in control issues. Yeah. Yeah, metacommunication is what it's called. Thinking about thinking. I mean, sorry, not communication. Metacognition would be what it would be. Thinking about thinking. But metacommunication also maybe thinking about how you communicate, then I would say. I think it's basically saying you need to look at how your thoughts are impacting how you're communicating with others. Or how you're not communicating with others, you know. Sure. Oh shit. Shit. So much for inconspicuous, right? Yeah. This weed is good though. This stuff. I'm gonna call it stuff because I don't know if I'll get in trouble on here, so yeah. But yeah, it really is deep. This full moon, if you haven't done a lot of healing surrounding your thoughts. So, cognitive behavioral therapy, maybe that's something to look into. That specifically is a therapeutic approach to help you, you know, change the way you think and recondition. I mean, there's a lot to it, I guess, a lot more to it, but yeah, it's basically changing the way you think about things. Which people don't understand the power of that. Like, over time, what you tell yourself, you internalize. So, like, you can learn to internalize new things if you learn how to talk to yourself in new ways. So, that could also be a thing. Learning to talk to yourself in healthier ways or kinder ways, you know. Yeah. Pretty much. I don't know. Thinking before you speak is also something I'm hearing. Thinking before you speak. Which makes sense because, like, Geminis, or the sign of Gemini is all about thinking and speaking, and yeah, I don't know, that just came to mind. Think before you speak. Hmm. Yeah. A reconfiguration of the mind. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe looking at what influences you're thinking. Oh my God. Hmm. Oh my gosh. Too many people are in and out. Like I said, after this tarot reading for the full moon in Gemini to see what the energy is. I'm gonna look at what needs to be illuminated, what needs to be released, what needs to be transformed. And I wouldn't be surprised if something about thought patterns comes up. And then after that, I'll do another reading. I don't know what kind of reading yet, but we'll just see. Oh my God. There's people, you guys. There's people. Come on. Oh wow, there's peeps. I do not want to fuck my nails up, for real. My nails are just perfect. She did them so good. I used to go see someone else, but I had to find someone new, and she is just on point. There's clouds on my nails. Clouds. Yeah. Don't know if you can see, but yeah, clouds and sparkles and shit. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Can't play music on here anymore, or I'm fucked. Oh shit. So it's the end for that. It's over when it comes to that. But oh well. Wonder if anything else. I haven't really seen anything else crazy that's come up in the news. I don't really care about that guy being captured for the United CEO healthcare. Who cares? I don't care about that. Good, he was captured, whatever. Some people are mad about it. He was spotted at a McDonald's and somebody called the police. It's funny. Wow. So yeah. Crazy. Hey peeps, how is it going, everyone? What's going on? Someone say something ASAP. Okay, nobody's saying anything. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. All right. Sometimes it just gets to a point where I don't feel like talking anymore. And that's the point that I'm at. That is the point that I'm at. Oh my gosh, there's peeps out there. As you guys know, I already told you that there were people out there and you were totally freaked out. I know all of you guys were freaking out. Oh my gosh. Okay. One interesting phenomenon, humans talking to themselves and people watching them talk to themselves. Very, very strange. The whole thing, everybody involved. Very strange. It's like being in a fishbowl. Or, getting up on stage and realizing that you forgot everything you were supposed to say, You guys, it's not that deep. I swear it's not that deep. That's really all I have to say about everything in life. Life rocks. Woo! That's an important thing to say. Life rocks. What's everybody up to tonight? Say something in the chat. Drop a like, share the vid. Do whatever. As I always say. Do whatever. Whatever works best for your lifestyle. Just kidding. Okay, So awkward. Things have gotten awfully awkward in here, peeps. Little cricketish. I keep looking at Pearl, expecting and hoping that maybe she'll have something to say. Hi, sweetie. Hi. Oh, sorry, honey. She's not happy about being moved. She is not happy about being moved, but she knows that she's famous. This young lady knows that she's famous and that the fans want to see her. She's famous. You guys, this is Pearl. That's my daughter, Pearl. Yes, she is my biological daughter. Yes, Pearl is my biological daughter. As you can see, we look alike. So yeah, what's new with everybody else? What's going on? Pearl, you guys, you know I'm just fucking with you, right? I hope. If not, I don't give a fuck. Either way, it's all gonna end beautifully. So I'll keep manifesting that. Unless you're a fucked up person, then I hope you get your karma, Bucky. Bucky. Yeah, I do. Listen, everybody that I've wished has gotten, you know, bad karmic consequences for their actions literally always has, and it's scary stuff. It's like near death stuff. I don't ask for that, you guys, but you know, so be careful. I'm just saying, be careful. Be careful what you think, be careful what you speak. Because that shit comes true. Yeah. Well, if you're a witch, if you're very sensitive to energy, and you're a Cancer that's really good at manifesting. I'm a Cancer, guys. Cancers are the best manifestors. The mothers of the zodiac. So yeah, come here, Pearl. Come here. Oh my god. Come here, sweetie. Honey, I'm not fucking around, honey. Come here, Pearly. Come here, sweetie. Come on. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? There's Peeps. Hi, Pearly. I think she wants to play. Do you want to play? Sweetie. Sweetie, do you want to play or what? You guys, she understands certain things. And she will respond to me based on them. But only if I'm standing. It's very odd. Honey, what's that about, Pearl? Whatever. Pretty wild night over here. Getting really buck, pretty much, so yeah. It's just not true. It's just not true. Come on, bro. Come on, Annie. She's gonna ignore me. She's gonna sit there and she just always does this where she just sits and stares. Yep, and she's still doing it. She's sitting and she's staring. She's sitting and she's staring. She's given this look that she always gives in her eyes when she wants something, or she's just like admiring me, Pearl, you know. It's very weird. Maybe we should call her out. Hey, lady, can we help you? Can I help you? She's like, I live here. She's like, I live here more than you. This is totally rude. Rude. All right, you guys, I gotta get off here and I'll be back. I will